right, good day, everybody. It's politics all the time that we talk about and how Nigeria will move forward. Peter, you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Philip, you good?
Always here with you.
Okay. All the matters arising in Nigerian politics in the past 24 hours, let's extract them. We talked about some today, some that were breaking news, how Wike and his G5 giving condition to the PDP ESCO or heads about the convention that is coming up, that the convention may become null and void if these conditions were not met. And we also talked about Wike. Wike has been in the news lately. You know, he acts as a president, the presidency that he never got from PDP. Maybe he got it as through the back door, yes, through the APC platform. But let's still look at some other issues that we need to talk about. Peter, INEC snubs ADC new leaders, but the ADC leaders have said no, it's just a matter of administrative issues that have not allowed them to update the INEC platform. That's why they are where they are. Does it look like that? Of course, you know there are a lot of dissenting for it in the ADC. There's the voice of Kachuku, who was the presidential flag bearer. There's the voice of Bala, who was the Gombe governorship candidate, and so many other people are saying that things are not done the right way. Admit this particular situation at INEC, that the portal is still showing that of the old people. Do you think they will be able to forge ahead?
I think so. Playing back what happened with Labour, even as at time Labour candidates were excluded from the, you used to call it midterm election, for me it's off-season elections. When Labour went to court, this person was seen on INEC's portal, Abure. It was when I went to court, I told him, guy, your time don't expire since. You are not even a legitimate holder of that office. So this thing, they should be proactive on these things. If that person is not the person that ought to be there, they should, what is in updating your portal? They say procedural. I say if he needs a rocket science thing. He is plain, get someone to upload new pictures, new people onto the platform. I've read through it. And it has not come out to condemn or say this is not a legitimate executive of the party. And ADC have done what they ought to do. NEC has ratified this. They've had their NEC meeting, and all these people, they've been ratified. So INEC should let Nigerians have peace. Do what is needful. Upload who ought to be there. If they're not legitimate, let Nigerians know. Don't give people opportunity to guesswork or to cook up stories where they are not. So they should complain with Nigerians. If they are not in tandem with this current executive ADC, they should tell Nigerians. If they are, they should change, go and upload the right people onto their portal. Let Nigerians move on.
Peter, do you think INEC is one of the problems we have in Nigeria when it comes to these political parties? Because they are the umpire, they're the one that set the pace, who people that are following their constitution, the regularization, who is recognized, who is not recognized. Do you think they are part of the big problem that these people that we have in this country?
Well, you cannot exonerate INEC. But to me, they are not the problem. The problem are the people, the political parties. If, for instance, the political party put their house together and are in order, I don't think any INEC could be dragged into all these unnecessary, stories of who is legitimate, who is not legitimate. You submitted the name. There are process, there are procedures. You know, when you say there's a process, the law has put down a laid down for you to follow, for INEC to update the list of the national executive of the party and the water down to the state, to the local government, to the ward. And the rules are very clear. You conduct your Congress at the ward level and local government, then your state Congress, and then the National Convention that will produce the National Working Committee. And in all this process, INEC was supposed to monitor, so they take inventory. They are not conducting, but they are just an observer to ensure that things are done rightly. And if otherwise, most political parties have their role outside the convention and all of that and congresses. There's always a provision where the political party can also appoint, their officers pending when they will conduct their congress and their, convention. Now, the question is, were things done rightly from the beginning? If things were done rightly from the beginning, then INEC should be held culpable. But in this case, you cannot say outright that these things were done rightly. What were the process they passed through to get to where they are? But having said that, it is INEC cannot say in any way that ADC didn't do the right thing to produce the present national ESCO. You see, you will always hear this thing because this is a build-up pre-election year. Politicians want to undo each other. What is playing out here is that some political parties are feeling uncomfortable with the ADC, and the only way to, abuse people's mind about the ADC is to create unnecessary confusion in the eyes of the people to show that the ADC is not as stable as you think it is. So it cannot stand the ruling party. So be wary of them. This is just. It's just politics.
But I wanted you to touch on the issue of Labour Party, because this is like an example. INEC has always maintained the fact that a Abure-led faction were legitimate in holding on to power. All of a sudden, they backtracked when during the midterm elections. We know that they recognized the candidate of Abure faction in Anambra. All of a sudden, this one came now and they did upload the people they wanted to, that Abure faction wanted. They went to court and they said, no, your tenure is in there. But the portal still show Abure and his ESCO. So is INEC having a double standard?
That's what I told you, that this is the build-up to the 2027 general elections. All this thing, you cannot remove the hand of the ruling party or the government from what is happening. Because INEC cannot appropriate and reprobate at the same time. Yeah. You cannot have Abure on your portal as the chairman of Labour, and at the same time you are not accepting the list produced and submitted to you by Abure. What does that show? It shows that you are a confused person or you are a confused agency. You don't know what you are doing, and that is why it is clear to Nigeria that INEC is no longer an unbiased umpire. Because if it's unbiased umpire, you should come clean and say that, look, this is what I have, I'm running with this. That's what everybody expected. Until otherwise, Abure remains the chairman of a Labour Party, and every list produced by him should go in. I also saw somewhere that court has, restrained Mugalu, who is the governorship candidate of Labour Party, from parading himself as the candidate of the Labour Party for the November Anambra governorship elections. So where does
as a result of the fact that they came out from the faction of
where does that take you to? It takes you to one thing, that it's only one party that will run for that election. So it shows that there's something wrong somewhere. It is not entirely the political party issue, but the ruling party and the government, by extension, they are trying to, we have said it, to make this country a one-party state by creating such a situation where all the other political parties are having one problem or the other, or their records are not straight with INEC, which is the regulatory body of political parties. If their records are not straight with INEC, what it pretends that they cannot, present candidates for election.
So that's why I asked, are INEC being political?
See,
I have said that
I'll come back to you.
INEC as it is today cannot be said to be unbiased umpire. Because if it is, all he needs to do is to ensure that every political party, where are they regulatory body, is to correct them when they are going astray and make sure the records are straight. But they are not doing that. They are waiting for somebody who err and they punish the person.
In build up to 2027, yes. INEC have become a factor. I'm appalled for the fact that people like Deji Adeyanju has not been calling out INEC, especially for the fact that Deji and his friend that is now late, Aristotle used to call him in school back in the days, were the one that fought for these electoral reforms. And Deji has left that and fighting candidates like Peter Obi. So INEC has also not bet its weight on this electoral reform and did not say anything. Are we suspecting that in 2027 election, things will not go right?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have a bumpy ride towards this election because INEC, by their action and inaction, they're throwing confusion everywhere. Look at the confusion they've caused in Anambra State. It's small Labour candidates nobody knows on the court. That means these things were avoidable. You know, I believe that this man's time has expired. Why still keep him on the portal? Why still accept candidate from him? If they hadn't gone to court, nobody would have known. But they went to court. Everybody went to court to challenge why their candidate were excluded from the election. It was at that process. INEC told him that your term has expired a long time ago. So this to me is systematic. Not they're doing. It's not a mistake because INEC has a big organization. They have people in the IT department who can easily update their platforms. So that I think updating the platform.
Even as we are still even talking to the abhorrent.
So it's not the issue. It is systematic. It is a planned game to live innuendos, confusions everywhere. And the last minute, when you can do nothing, they will strike. Okay, now, what happens to Labour? Labour might end up not contesting the election in Anambra State.
All right, we advise INEC that they should not forget their name. Their name is Independent Electoral Commission. Is independent. They are not supposed to depend on government or depend on any whims or caprices from anybody. Let's move on quickly. PDP, Wike, the thing has suddenly aroused Wike's, will I say, fears or so many of those things. He's whining, he's grumbling, he's giving conditions, you know, and all that. One leg here, one leg there. All of a sudden, he has the wisdom of Solomon. And he said, don't fight Peter Obi as your candidate. He said the man insulted the party. Who has not insulted the party, Philip?
You know, if you look at the political space today, Wike is a drowning man. Before I look as if he has all things going for him. All of a sudden, the founding fathers of the party, led by Professor Jerry Ghana, said, no, we cannot allow this party to die. Having ruled this country for 16 years and called the shot and become one of the biggest political party in Africa, we cannot just go away like that. We must, you know, sit back and save our party. The likes of Bode George and the rest of them came together and said, let's save our party. And they said one of the ways to save this party is to get back those illustrious sons of this party who had left because they were not well treated. One of them was Peter Obi and Jonathan, who had just stayed away. And Wike knew for sure that once the likes of Peter Obi and Jonathan comes to the party, his influence will be whittled down. In fact, it will be insignificant. It will not be known. So what does he do? Being a drowning man, he wants to drag every person down. So he's trying. This is his last breath. We know when you're in the sea and your boat suddenly capsizes and you are not conversant with water, you don't know how to maneuver, you don't know how to swim. You know, you struggle. You know, Wike is struggling for his last breath in PDP, by extension in politics, because if he loses this time, he failed, that will be the end.
That's the end of his dynasty.
And I don't see how he's going to survive, because Peter B had not said he's coming back to PDP. And he said that if PDP feed Peter Obi for 2027, that's the end. How did he get to that conclusion? What gives him that impression? Considering Obi acting in the 2023 general election, where he do not even use a party that do not have structure, where he was referred to that 4 people are printed in a room that they can't go anywhere. With those 4 people, Obi shocked the world. In fact, it's on record. Even his greatest enemy has come to say that Obi won that election. PDP has said it, El-Rufai has, and so many other people have said that he won that.
Even Wike said
that PDP has won that election. Now, the same Obi is coming to PDP that has structures, and PDP has said that we are going to give you the ticket. What do you think Wike will do if you are in Wike's position? You want to do everything possible. Like I said before, what the ruling party is doing by extension of the government is to ensure that there's confusion in everywhere and to ensure that people's records are not right with INEC, so that at the end of the day there will be no formidable opposition against the ruling party. So Wike is one of their instruments and is the instrument they are using in PDP. So this is what is playing out.
We've seen that Wike has recruited another person into their fold to replace Seyi Makinde. That suddenly, whether it's a game plan amongst all of them, so that one person will hold his side. You know, the convention is being held in Ibadan, being hosted by Seyi Makinde, and probably it's possible. What they are going to do right now is to elect officials, new officials for the party. And as it's going, of course, Philip just said it just now that new officials, when they come in, they're not going to be by the influence of Wike, though we know that he may try to influence new officers. You know, the most important part of that structure is the chairman and the secretary. If they are not in tandem, nothing moves forward in the party. Now, Fayose has joined them. So they are now 5 brothers, or what they call G5. I mean, would that make any difference?
Yeah, like I want to toe the line Philip did, and I think he's seen the dance come to an end. And what does he want to do? I want to see how he can how he can extend it for a while. These 5 people, Autumn, ABC, former Governor Ibazu, Gwayin, and
Wike, now Fayose.
To see how irrelevant they are, they all lost a senatorial seat. Why? Sitting as a sitting governor. I said, Fayose, Gwayin lost, Autumn lost, my former governor lost. To show how irrelevant they are in their state. Not state election, local election to your people. Your people rejected you.
In a senatorial
you get to where I'm going to. Your own people rejected you. You couldn't win a senatorial election. And now you're coming to give PDP conditions for them to have a seamless convention.
On what basis?
I don't get it.
How influential are you in the party within your locality?
Since when you can even win a local election. So what Wike is doing, these are the co-travelers. The key person is Wike. He's the one funding the whole movement. And I've said it on this level, I'll say it again. Obi should not think about joining PDP until they've done their convention, until Wike hand is purged from PDP. If Wike still have any atom of control in PDP, he should not go. But this is a man that have said it repeatedly, that he is working for Asuwaju. And the party is trying to bring a candidate. You think he will support the candidate? Of course he won't. So until they do that convention and they elect people that are independent of Wike, that can run the party the way it should be run. Until that no candidate, no serious person should go and run under PDP. I feel sorry for people like Mba. If what's his name, the current secretary, returns as a secretary of the party, because he is the one that will sign letters that was submitted to INEC. So PDP should save themselves by purging Wike of any control, by removing Wike's control over the party. Because he's not here or there. It's Wike in APC. No.
Is he in PDP?
And if he loses his
control, he didn't answer that.
He said
he's in APC.
Yes, no.
Is he in APC? No. So I asked you, is he in PDP?
Yes, he is. Until he says otherwise. And if he loses his control, he has other PDP. He might not be as relevant as he is to Tinubu as he is today.
Okay. The truth remains that
yes,
whether they give condition or not, the convention will go and it will be valid. You know why? Because there was NEC meeting signed by the chairman and the secretary. And INEC attended that, NEC
meeting.
And in that meeting, a letter was written to INEC, notifying INEC
of the convention
at Ibadan. That letter was signed by the chairman and the secretary. After the chairman has been confirmed as a chairman, he was an active chairman before now. So whether they are giving condition or no condition, the property has already been done. If they like, after the convention, they should go to court, where the Supreme Court has said it that party matter is
remain with the party.
They are court and no jurisdiction. So we wait to see the outcome. Like I said, it's a drowning man. He's fighting for his last breath. He's sinking in the sea. The sea, the water is trying to swallow.
Somebody said empty barrel.
Well, I'm not saying, but it's a strong name, man, because
I didn't say you said.
Like he said, this is the end of the dance. The glorious day of Wike is gradually coming to
an end. All right. We know he won so magnificently last week Saturday in the local government election.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he did. In Rivers State, his wish came through. APC won 20 local governments.
Isn't APC?
PDP won the three magnificent local government. If it's in APC, well, we will find out later whether it's in APC. Okay. All right. The cracked wall in the presidency that it was a lot of rumor about the president and the vice president seems to be mending together. The president spoke gloriously of the vice president and on his 59th birthday and said, this man has been my co-traveler. Look at what he said. In a statement on Monday to celebrate the vice president, Tinubu hailed Shettima as a brother, co-traveler, partner in nation building, praising his courage, tenacity, and belief in Nigeria's greatness. I mean, these are words, I mean, great words you could speak to someone. This is what the president talked about. Shettima, the vice president of Nigeria. Are we seeing that close rank in the presidency towards 2027?
I will ask you a question.
Yes.
If you say what you just said,
yeah.
the question I ask you, how many times have the president been